Today we're doing a basic setup on a brand new PRS SE Custom 24 Semi-Hollow Piezo. It's a 2025 model. Stick around till the end, we'll talk about some tips and guidance on what we observe along the way here. It's a beautiful guitar in every way, but it arrived with exceptionally high action, and that's what we're going to fix today. Without doing anything that voids a warranty or anything like that. Again, at the end we'll talk a little bit more about that. First things first, I'm measuring the string height at the 12th fret. We're looking for around 3/32 of an inch, a little under 2 millimeter, 2.4 millimeter, or between 0.075 and 0.09 inches on the bass side, and about a 1/16 of an inch, or about 1.5 millimeters on the treble side. It's around 0.06, 0.065 inches, and we're way above that. So we're looking for more, around 0.09 inches. We can get this a little bit closer to our goal with just an adjustment of the truss rod, because as you can see here, there's a lot of relief in this neck, a downward dip. And I can already see from looking at this thing that the string saddles are not aligned with the radius of the fretboard. So we'll address that when we're adjusting the saddle height. So I did a little bit of tweaking on the truss rod, no more daylight underneath there. It's about perfectly flat. And that did bias a little bit. We're down to about 0.08 inch, which is close, but we can get closer with basic tools. And again, without voiding any warranties. So what I'm doing here is I'm checking the fretboard radius. It's a 10-inch radius fretboard, which honestly surprised me. I thought it was a little bit larger than that, a little bit flatter. So I'm adjusting the saddle height here on each one of the saddles. It's a 1/16 inch hex bit. Next, I'm going to go ahead and remove the strings. While I have the strings off, I'm going to do a nice dressing on the fretboard, just some F1 fretboard oil, high quality stuff, and then I wipe it all down, make sure it's very dry. I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the tuners while I'm at it. These were surprisingly loose, actually. I could hear it rattling if I were to shake the guitar. But quick fix, 10 millimeter socket and a Phillips head screwdriver, small. Just give them a little twist. Don't want to crank them down, just tighten things up a bit. So we've adjusted the truss rod, we've adjusted the saddles, and we still have a little bit of fret buzz with low action. So we're going to see if the frets are responsible. And I'm going to take this fret rocker. It's a perfectly machined flat edge on all sides. And the idea is you can do 3 frets at a time to measure the center fret. And if it rocks, the fret's high. If it doesn't rock, it's flat. So we're going to go down the fretboard and see if we can find any high frets. And I don't expect to see any high frets, but we are getting a little bit of buzz, particularly on the bass strings. So we'll see. A little bit of clicking, hear that? Number 2 fret is high. And make sure that I don't touch this fret with it, or it's going to skew the results. 5 is really high. On the treble side, it stops right about here. Maybe the D string. Let's go to the next longest length here. 6th fret. Good. Oh, little bit, not a problem on the bass side. There's a bad one on the 18th fret. I think that was 18th. So when you bend notes, it's going to fret out, and you're not going to get any sustain. It's just going to crap out when you bend. Or rather, it could. That could be a risk. At the end, we got the action down to a very nice height. I think it was 0.08 at the bass side and 0.06 at the treble side. In any case, if the owner wanted it lower, we could go even lower. But some of these higher frets could start running into an issue. And at that point, it would make sense to take it to or contact Paul Reed Smith and see if they have an authorized technician that you could send it to do some fret work. I don't want to do any fret work on this thing, void any warranties, and it certainly doesn't need it. In acoustic mode, unplugged, You could hear a little bit of fret buzzing, but that's not uncommon. But plugged in, it was clean. And we're going to do a demo at the end here, setting up some new strings on here, by the way. I'm going to have the great James Moronic do a demo, so I don't have to do it. And you'll hear there's no fret buzzing whatsoever. It just turned out very, very nice, actually. I did not get the full cut of the intonation. That's what I'm doing here. I can do a separate video on intonating a guitar. If you're interested, drop a comment in there and I'll consider doing that. But this is not a tutorial on that, so I just have a little bit in here as a step to show that we did it.
So this is just the acoustic output.